very good evening, participants. Welcome to another Open House webinar. Today's Open House webinar topic is Understanding Dynamics of UCC, which is called as Unique Client Code. I am Jwalant Gandhi, and with me from UCI team, I have Shanti Idnani and Siddheshwar with me, who will be taking us through the understanding and explanation that all the members and participants require. We have received numerous queries from members, which we will be taking through. But before going for the questions, I'll request Shanti to give overview about UCC and the dynamics of unique client code. Shanti.
Hi, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So I will walk you through the latest developments. In the recent past, you all are all aware that many changes have taken front in the UCI front, that is the unique client code front. So to begin with, the latest thing which went live from April 19th is that our structure got changed, modified. Now, the modification in this UCC structure, the main reason was that PAN verification process, which we get our PANs verified with the income tax, got changed by income tax. So, as a reason, what used to happen earlier was like when you give me a PAN, we used to send as a client with the client name, we used to take the name from the PAN and then accept it or reject it.
Okay.
But now, what happens, Jwalant, is we do not get any information from the site. What we get is we need to feed the name, we need to feed the PAN, and we need to feed the date of birth.
Okay.
So they will give me a yes and a no. So based on yes and no, when everything is yes, then only I'll be allowed to be able to mark it as yes for PAN verification.
Understood.
So now since there's a catch over here also, because what happens is in the client name field, okay, a general client name for an individual is okay, but even in that there are many changes. Like if in the income tax, for example, Mr. ABC, so he may give in the income tax AC, and on the PAN card he may write ABC.
Correct.
But while giving it to NSE, for the exchanges, they may give A, XYZ, B, C, and then
understood. That is a significant difference.
There is a significant difference, and they may write a short form, they may add a Kumari or something.
Yes.
So we used to take care of such things, but now I have no option.
Yes.
I have to take exactly the name which is available either on the PAN card or on the income tax website.
Okay.
And also, the date of birth is an additional column which they are going to give me as a yes and no.
Correct.
So now I would require exactly the date of birth that has been updated with the income tax.
Understood.
So now, how will the members identify? Because what is updated with the income tax website is actually the client may or may not remember.
Exactly.
If you ask me, I may not remember what I had updated so many years back, right?
Yes.
So what is in front, jo dikhta hai wo bikhta hai types, right? So client name is visible on the PAN card, right? So the members are free to give me a name as per income tax or name as per PAN card.
Okay.
But since it's easy verification, we would request to give me name as per income PAN card.
Understood.
Because that is visible to you. Because even a space or a small character, suppose the middle name is elaborated and you give me a small, or you give me a limited ka LTD and LIMIT,
or maybe a prefix or suffix into the
anything,
name.
It will get rejected.
Okay.
So we do not want rejections, and then the investors will have to wait for another day to start trading, because then the members will have to give us an unfreeze request, make change. It's an elaborate process, right? So because of that, we would urge members to give me exactly name as per which is visible income tax.
And it is a prudent practice for members also to tell their clients to provide names accordingly only, so that mistakes doesn't happen at any level.
Exactly. So name as per PAN card will really suffice, will help out because it is visible.
Okay.
Date of birth because date of birth is also available in the PAN card, right? So so those cases, both these things, if you give me and the PAN is valid, then the PAN validation is done.
So there are greater chances of rejections won't happen.
Lesser chances, I would put it. Lesser chances of rejections.
Okay.
And I would say approx nil chances if everything goes to
correct.
Okay, so that is one major change we got about. But then again, for ease of business, what we did was, if you know, for example, mutual fund or any other for a mutual fund, we have one PAN, but we have multiple schemes.
Yes.
So the trading members would want the client name to be as per the scheme name.
Exactly.
Because they have to allocate, so many things come into the picture.
Yes.
So to facilitate that, we've added a field called client description. Client name description, if I'm correct.
Client
Client
name
name
description.
description, yes.
Okay, great.
So client name description. So the client name is as per PAN card,
Mhm.
and name description you can write whatever the scheme
So
or
that will be
extension.
additional remarks that members can
Yes,
put
there's
in
an
while.
additional field
Okay,
called client name description, which will help.
okay, great,
So that is another addition that has been done.
great.
So this change had to be brought about because protein or the enterprise was going live with 31st of
Hmm.
30th of April.
Okay,
So we got it implemented from 19th of April and we went live.
great. And as you were mentioning, because we had to bring in these changes into the file format, so if you can share the circular of
Yes,
the latest
yes.
file format for creating the UCC.
So this file format structure is in file 22nd March
Okay,
this year. The latest this file format structure we had issued earlier, but the latest circular in this was 61299.
61299, which is dated, you say 22nd of March 2024.
This is
Okay,
the latest one.
okay,
Wherein we were to go live earlier, so we extended it because we got an extension from. Those information is there.
understood.
Before that, again, we had to undergo a change on with effect from January 1st
Okay,
because of trading supported by blocked amount was introduced for the first time in securities market, and this was primarily for two client categories,
Okay.
which was for individuals
Mhm.
and HUFs.
Okay,
Okay, and that also in capital market,
capital
CM
market,
segment.
CM segment only.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, in connection to this only, as I mentioned, we have received many queries from members. So, Amit Raj Singh from GRD Securities, in connection to this, has asked if we can explain about new points which are introduced. Probably client name description you have already
So I
explained.
was coming to the second point of opt for UPI. So that as I was saying that UPI is nothing but this trading supported by blocked amount.
Correct.
So I'll just explain the changes that have
Please,
been
please.
incorporated.
So he has possibly
So
asked
I
for
guess
account type
his
or opt
question
out for
will
UPI.
his question will be sorted with this
Okay,
explanation
please,
that I'm about
please,
to give.
please go ahead.
So what I would what the major changes were is we have added because to if a client has to trade in and has to opt for UPI facility, trading supported by blocked amount. So the bank account and demat account needs to be validated. Bank account with FPCI, demat account with the depositories.
Correct.
Okay, and the member has to give me an intimation that he wants to opt for UPI. So that opt for UPI field is introduced.
Okay.
That satisfies your question.
Yes.
Okay, so opt for UPI, yes or no. Now this is optional, so it is not mandatory for. If you do not want to, if you are not giving this facility, then this field has to be no.
It has to be no.
No.
Okay.
Because it has to be marked as N,
Okay.
basically. Because what we have seen over the period that sometimes members erroneously then go in for yes, their bank details get validated, demat, and then the settlement happens to that amount. Then it goes to
so members have to be vigilant while putting the value in this particular field, and if they are not providing the facility, then it has to be N.
Yeah, so if they are not if they are not providing that, then it has to be by default N.
Okay.
And this is N for all types of client. This facility is available only for individuals and HUF, that is client category 1 and 3.
Okay.
Only. It is not
so
for
that
everybody.
is very important information, members. Please take note of it. Yes. Shanti, I mean, if we are going ahead, there is a question which we have already.
Let me
yes,
just
please.
let me just complete about
Please.
these changes. So what happens is what we have asked is you can give us up to 5 bank accounts and 5 demat accounts. Okay, but it is essential that you tell me which is primary, which is secondary.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're entering a demat account value and if you're entering a this, you have to give me a primary and secondary. Now this is required irrespective of the fact that you're opting for UPI. Okay, you have to give me a primary and secondary demat accounts, and this 5 facility to update 5, it's not necessary to give me 5.
Correct.
Minimum 1 is necessary.
Minimum 1 is necessary.
Which has always been the case. It's
yes.
It's not new. Earlier we had 3 bank, 3 demat. Now we've done 5 and 5.
Correct.
This is to facilitate this. The other facilitation field was to opt for UPI as the field that has been given.
Great.
Okay. So what happens is when you give me, how does this process work? Is when an investor or when a trading member gives me a field for opt for UPI as yes.
Okay.
Their bank and demat account gets validated.
Right.
The records go to clearing corporation.
Okay.
They get validated.
Okay.
By them, a validation is done at their end, and they give me a yes.
Mhm.
So based on that, you can start trading.
Great. So that simplifies the understanding for members and participants as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, next question, probably we have already answered at length, where Harshal Prajapati had asked, kindly advise whether the name on the UCC should be as per PAN card or PAN site, which probably we have answered.
It can be anything basically.
It can be anything basically, as Shanti says. So moving to next question, if we can clarify if an UCC can trade on the same day when it is created. The answer is no, participants.
No, it's no. I'll tell you why. See, there are various checks and balances which need to be done.
Correct.
Okay, and during the day, whatever UCCs get created, okay, first it is verified with the protein website or the income tax for the various validations as I had stated earlier.
Correct.
Then also there are 6 KYC attributes which need to get validated. So when I say 6 KYC attributes, what I mean is name is validated, PAN is validated. Correct. Address, email ID, mobile number.
Okay.
And the gross income range.
Okay.
So these are the 6 attributes which. Now when I come to address, I have address line 1, 2 and 3. What happens is many times I get client members saying, see, everything is proper, I've entered everything, why is my client record not permitted to?
Correct.
So when we also sit and check, we have to really analyze there's a difference. Yes. So what we see is sometimes what members do is address line 1, AB, whatever is the address, full address is written. Line 2, they'll copy the same thing. Line 3, they'll copy the same thing.
So it will be duplicacy due to which there might be issues.
Yes, so address line 1 and 2 cannot be same, 2 and 3 cannot be same, 1 and 3 cannot be same.
Understood.
So you can break up your address into 3 lines, or you can give everything in 1 line. Line 1 is mandatory, 2 and 3 is not mandatory. I understand their addresses which may fit in 1 line. So we have not restricted, given any validations for that. But we need to ensure that there is a difference between.
It has to be different, all the 3 lines, and otherwise, no special characters is another important point, yes. As Shanti said. And members, in case you can fit in your address into line 1 only, then line 2 and 3 are not mandatory.
It's not mandatory, but for ease of understanding, ease of this,
correct.
Rather than putting everything in 1 line,
it is better.
We normally try to put even when we are writing addresses.
Correct.
3 lines, right? So that's how it is given.
Great.
There's another aspect, when I am coming to permitted to trade aspect, let me just touch on one more point.
Please.
Is that KRA validation is also pitched in.
Okay.
Okay. So if today KRA will give me a record as on hold, okay, then I will put it on hold till the time KRA doesn't give me as validated.
Okay.
Okay. So I will not permit the client to trade.
Correct.
Now, when we are doing this activity on a monthly basis, what we do is we give out a list to the members, give them some time to square off their transactions.
Okay.
And then everything is issued in the circular, so it is known to the market, to everybody. And then whenever on the timeline, after that you're not allowed to trade. You cannot square off, even if some position is left off. We can't help.
So there will be certain allowed period within which they can square off.
We give a certain number of time period.
And this is only for the cases where we have received on hold status from the KRA.
If the KRA is giving me that.
Correct.
Because they give so as on date, what happens is they give me a file which tells me yes or a no.
Okay.
On hold or either it's on hold rejected. If it is on hold rejected, then I will not allow. It will also tell me a delta file that yesterday it was on hold, today it's validated.
Okay, understood.
So in case you encounter such things that you feel that KRA is validated, it has been on hold, you then need to approach the KRA, get it verified from them. They have to intimate it to us, and then
based on which we'll further process and we will allow accordingly.
So we go basis what the KRAs tell us.
Understood. Great. Thanks, Shanti. Even Siddesh can also chip in wherever required. Next question is interconnected. It is a 3-part probably, but very similar in nature. First thing is if we can clarify on the cutoff time for a UCC to reflect permitted to trade file.
So, okay,
yeah, sure. So we have Jwalan, we have already issued a circular which states the cutoff time for the UCCs. So just to clarify, the cutoff time is 2:30.
Okay.
In the afternoon.
Okay.
For all the UCCs, and the condition is that it should be permitted to trade.
Okay.
All those UCCs will be reflected in the evening file,
batch
1 file, which members get by around 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then the evening cutoff time is of 10 o'clock in the night.
10.
So members need to ensure that whatever UCCs you are creating, those should be permitted to trade before 10 o'clock, so that those users will be able to trade the next day.
Okay.
And
So what we do is for ease of members also, like yesterday they would have given a file after 10, 11, 12, whatever, they would have given a record. And then we do not want to leave them in lurch. Is it, will it be? Because manually you can see on the application of UC Online each record. But I understand becomes a very tedious thing when you have thousands and
It
thousands
does.
of clients. So we give 2 files during the day.
Okay.
One we take a cutoff at 2:30 and the other one at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So you'll get subsequent after 2:30 by 5:36 you get the first file.
Okay.
Because there are processes involved after processing, you get the first file. So you come to know whether it is involved in that. If it's not permitted, still because of whatever reason it is not permitted, then you can take a call and make modifications. Still have an option.
Understood. Now, in connection to that, probably a little different flavor in question, which Deepak Kashyap from Dhani Stocks has asked. After the KRA verification, how much time does it take to provide the trading permission? I mean, is there a difference in the process that we have just explained?
So as I had explained, see this KRA verification is something KRA has to give me in the file that it is validated.
Okay.
Okay, when if it gives me in the file it is validated.
Okay.
And the records are permitted according to our criteria that I have specified.
Okay.
Okay, then we have no choice. Next day it can start trading.
Understood. So we hope, Deepak, that your question is very well answered. Moving to next query, which member has asked if you can clarify the reason for a UCC being non-permitted to trade, not permitted to trade.
Yeah, I would like to highlight that. There are many reasons for UCC for not being permitted to trade. Like Shanti explained, the 6 KYC attributes, which includes name, PAN, email, mobile number, and everything.
Okay.
Then the client state is also a factor. Only active UCCs can trade, and plus now we have the KRA as well. So all these, including the PAN other trading status as well.
Okay.
So all these factors or parameters needs to be validated, then only the UCC can will be able to trade.
Okay. Yes, Shanti.
Just be mindful that you may say that all my factors are correct. Why is it not permitted to trade? Please check what status you have mentioned as client. If you have marked it as inactive, I cannot hit it.
Okay.
It is only when you mark it as active, then with all factors matching, it will be permitted.
So this you need to be aware about, members. Otherwise, you may feel that everything I'm doing is correct, but this was the case due to which it was not going ahead or proceeding ahead.
True.
Great. Now, next query is from Sanjay Avasti, who is from Religare Broking. So whatever we have explained related to the PAN and DOB details entry and further checking as per the details uploaded in UCC, but he is saying that still he is getting rejection. It is marked permitted to trade in one segment but rejected to other segments having same details, marked valid by probably other exchange on same details but rejected by NSE or vice versa case. So what can be the possible reasons or the scenario over here?
See, this case would be possible only when we have released the PAN verification thing on April 19th.
Okay.
So prior to this, it might be possible that you have created the UCC in cash segment, which was prior to 19th April, where DOB was not validated. Now you're trying to create a UCC. The same UCC under FNO segment, and because of which the DOB might not be correct. So there won't be, the validation is failing, and because of which the UCC might be not permitted to trade.
So this is the possible reason.
Yes. So you need to ensure that the name should be exactly as per the PAN card, and the DOB is also the same.
Correct.
And accordingly, the UCC will be validated, which might result in permitted to trade.
Correct. So Sanjay, we hope that this was the case due to which you might be finding the difference. Still, if it is something else, then probably you can write an email to UCI team, and the team will look into it and will come back to you. Now the next,
yes. Well, the email ID is UCI@NC.
Correct. So email ID to note over here for UCI department is, as Shanti said, uci@nsc.co.in. Thank you, Shanti. Now, next is more kind of a feedback than the query, which is from Preeti Gada from JM Financial. She is saying that where all the attributes are okay, still code is not permitted to trade. So if we can provide the reason for the same in the file.
So, okay. So, we take your feedback, but if you could look at the not permitted, so what we do is at the end of the day, as I stated, we download a permitted to trade file at the end of the day,
Correct.
2 times during the day. And so once we download the not permitted file, we also download a file with containing records not permitted to trade.
Okay.
Okay, so in that what we do is we do give KRA status yes or no. No. We do give the PAN status yes or no.
Okay.
Then we give the 6 KYC attributes. So it's just a matter of taking filters to identify.
Understood. So we provide enough details in terms of reasoning. Members need to just apply filters and find out the reason.
Yeah.
Okay, that is very easy. Thanks, Shanti. Now next is from Sunita Vishwakarma, who is from Kantilal Chaganlal Securities. She's asking if we are providing bulk upload facility for bank and DP, and if we can guide a little bit on that part.
Yes, we do provide the bulk upload facility for bank and DP details to be updated.
Okay.
Our file is named as UCC modification file, that is bulk modification file,
Okay.
which you can find in the latest file format, which is 61299, dated 22nd March 2024.
Okay, understood. Thanks, Sideshwar. Now again, next one is kind of a feedback, a lengthy one probably. So I'll just read it out first. It is from Shubhadeep Banerjee from Shriram Insight Share Brokers. He's saying that during bulk upload of UCC of non-individual clients, we are getting rejection with remarks invalid input for nomination detail. We would like to inform you that nomination is optional field in UCC and valid values are as per exchange uploadable format mentioned. Opted for nomination 1, opted out of nomination. Second part is we had raised the issue over email and we were advised to put 0 in the nomination option field, which is field number 163 of UCC bulk upload file, and the issue got resolved. Therefore, we request you to update your bulk upload file format by adding 0 as another option. So this is more of a feedback.
That is already there. So,
okay.
So what happens is, in case, see, this nomination earlier was a mandatory field.
Okay.
Subsequently, it became not mandatory as per SEBI.
Understood.
So in our nomination, there is a field, but see, it's not necessary that you give me opt-in, opt-out in nomination 1 or 2, but it is necessary that you do not leave the field blank.
Okay.
You have to update with a 0.
Okay. And that's why probably he might have got an error and he got the answer and then it was successful upload.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. But Shubhadeep, as Shanti said, it is already there. So probably there must have been some misunderstanding. But we are happy that at least the issue got resolved and you were able to proceed further. Now the next question is from Deepak Kashyap from Dhani Stocks. He is saying in some cases permission for trade is not being granted even though the KRA status has already been validated or registered. In this regard, several emails I have been sending, but we were asked to, he was asked to coordinate with KRA. So, if we can guide Shanti, what is the process and whether he needs to reach out to KRA and how we can get it resolved.
As I had earlier stated, what happens is we go by what status the KRA gives us.
Okay.
So, if in case, when we have not permitted the client to trade.
Okay.
Okay. So we download the file and we give ample of time to say that the PAN is validated. That particular PAN is not validated at the KRA, and then we'll be blocking. That is one act. So at that moment, if you observe that we have given a PAN which is actually validated, you can approach the relevant KRA, get it approved. So when we get the final dump, we will not get those files, or we will get it in the Delta file.
Okay.
Similarly, subsequently also, suppose by the end of the period that we've given, the PAN is still not validated, but the next date gets validated.
Okay.
Okay. It can and the KRAs give us the dump for them. They take a particular cutoff and give us the data.
Okay.
So it can happen that it has got validated in the interim period.
Okay.
Okay. Or it is validated, but still we have got it as not validated. So we, in such scenarios, what we request the members, our members, is that please approach the relevant KRA. They have to send us the record in the what is it called? In the revised file, wherein they will say no, these are Delta record in the Delta file, that they will say that these PANs are validated, so we will allow them to trade from the next working day.
So members, take note that this is how the process flow works. Definitely KRA plays the pivotal and important role. So definitely it has to come from them, based on which our systems will also incorporate the necessary changes. So we would request, in case any such issue happens, you can please reach out to respective KRA to get it resolved at earliest, based on which we will also try to process it further. Thank you, Shanti. Again, Deepak Kashyap only from Dhani Stocks is asking, some accounts have been closed by the exchange due to multiple UCC by same PAN region. In such cases, the broker has no rights to activate an account when it should be so, because some clients are not ready to open a new account. So, is that kind of any alternative, Shanti, or
No,
something
see
that
what
can happen?
happens is now, as per SEBI, one PAN, one UCC.
Okay.
So when this rule came into picture, we had urged many brokers to wherever we found same panel mapped to multiple UCCs.
Mm-hmm.
So we had urged the brokers to close the account.
Okay.
Subsequently, since after the time period that substantial time period was given,
Correct.
and after that, then they were closed stating multiple UCCs with the same pan.
Correct.
So if that UCC is already closed because there's already existing UCC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I do not understand why would they want to open a new account.
Okay.
So in that context, the question is not really clear. They can always approach us directly at UCC.
Great.
They could mail us with specific cases and we can get that.
Sure. Mr. Kashyap, we would ask you if you can write to uci@nse.co.in for further help. As Shanti explained, this might not be as per the rules and regulations, this is how it should act. Okay, great. Next one is wherein members are asking for advice that UCC is KRA validated. However, it is not still reflecting under not PTT file.
So, there's a what I say that it is a trend which I've observed is
Okay.
anything new comes up, every reason for not PTT is that particular aspect.
Okay.
So when KRA came into picture, everything members were just looking at the KRA aspect.
Okay.
And not looking at the other aspects wherein the UCC might have been marked inactive.
Mm-hmm.
So what does the exchange do?
Understood.
So it is not the only factor.
Mm-hmm.
For a record being not PTT. As I had explained, there are various factors
Correct.
because of which, subsequently, even if it is KRA, let's assume that UCC is KRA validated, everything else is
Mm-hmm.
perfect. As I had stated, we receive a file from KRA.
Correct.
So then I would request you to, I would request our members to take it ahead with the KRA. If we get it in the Delta file from KRA, we will be happy to mark it as active.
Sure. Sure. Now, when we are using the word PTT, so probably some members who are new, so PTT and NPT files which we download. So if you can clarify on the path to download those files.
As soon as member logs in the portal,
Mm-hmm.
you have two options to download the PTT and the not PTT file.
Okay.
So first option is as soon as you log in, there is a dashboard option
Okay.
in the front end. So from there you can download your PTT and not PTT file.
Okay.
And the second option is as soon as you log in, on the left hand side you have the services tab.
Okay.
So under that there is an option extranet download. So from there also you can download the PTT and not PTT file.
Great.
So there are two options altogether.
Okay.
Would you like to elaborate what is PTT and what is not NPT?
Yes, that would be actually helpful to new members as well.
Yes.
Okay. So PTT stands for permitted to trade file. Like Shanti explained, on a daily basis, we send two files. First file you will be receiving by 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the evening, and second file at around 11:30 in the night. So by the 10, I'm trying to elaborate. Till 10 o'clock, all the UCCs which are permitted to trade, those UCCs will be able to trade the next day.
Okay.
And the second file is NPT, which stands for not permitted to trade. So all the fields which are, the parameters which are responsible for a UCC to get permitted to trade, all are mentioned in the not permitted to trade file with the validations. Like for example, if it is KRA not validated, then it will be marked as N. So you need to filter those fields and find out the reason for which the UCC is not permitted to trade.
Thank you, Sudesh. Now, next query is there might be some cases which are not sent for mapping. I repeat, not sent for mapping. So, if you can clarify on the reasons why such kind of UCCs are not sent for mapping.
So what happens is now, first of all, what is mapping?
Okay.
Okay. So whenever a UCC gets created,
Mm-hmm.
the UCC along with the PAN details are sent to the depositories, the relevant depository.
Okay.
As in, if in the UCC details, they've given us depository as CDSL or depository as NSDL.
Right.
So those details go to the relevant depositories, and they mark the UCC against the record,
Correct.
against the account
Correct.
details. So this helps in the clearing.
Yes.
So this is the reason it is essential that this process is successful.
Okay.
So now, why is the UCC not sent? One thing is clear that it is an automated process. So each and every UCC, first wherever it is, whenever it gets created and it is validated and approved, it is sent to the repositories for mapping. So that is an automated process.
Yes.
There's no manual intervention.
Okay.
Secondly, whenever there's a modification, now a modification, so once we have sent, so if the status is active, it goes for mapping. If the
Okay.
status is inactive, that mapping, it goes for removal of mapping.
Correct.
Because record has become inactive.
Exactly.
Now, if there is a change, so if there is a change, if training members won't have to make any changes, suppose the repository details have to be changed, possible,
Correct.
right? Or the clearing member ID needs to be changed,
Yes.
member has shifted. So, though in such scenarios, the client status becomes active inactive. The record is sent to the repositories for mapping.
Okay.
So this is completely an automated process. So in
Yeah.
case if you feel anytime that why a record is not mapped or as you have a pain, you can always approach us.
Mhm.
We will be happy to help.
Okay, great.
But
So-
before the date of pain.
Yes.
It should
Definitely.
not happen that 11:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock is the pain, and then you tell me at 10:59.
Definitely, they have to come well in advance for the team to check and respond and accordingly take action.
Yes.
Okay, members, please take
So you
note
can
and
send us a mail
Yes.
at UCI also in such cases.
okay.
At by 6 o'clock in the evening, so we will be happy to help.
Sure. Okay. Thanks. Next is from Jitendra Joshi from Choice Equity Broking. He has been saying that if the KRA is validated and UCC is permitted to trade, and again if some other member upload the KRA and get hold, then UCC will be permitted to trade, or will it be not permitted to trade? As still first scenario, the KRA is validated. I mean, definitely it is a illustration based or scenario based question.
Yeah, why else? We had some discussions.
Okay.
So what happens is we go by the original status of the PAN
Okay.
at the KRA end.
Okay.
So once it's validated, it is validated.
Okay.
Okay. So then even if some member for the same PAN sends in a modification request,
Mhm.
which is put on hold or is rejected for whatever reason, but the original status is validated, we will go by that.
Okay, understood. So, Mr. Joshi, we hope we have answered your query. Next is from Rahul Mishra, who is from NNM Securities. He is saying, mentioned very briefly that what happens if UCC PAN validation is with income tax
Not very
records?
clear. This question
Okay,
is
the
not
question is not clear.
But I guess we have elaborately explained about the PAN validation facility in the beginning.
Correct. No worries. Next one will move to who is from SSL Securities, Mr. Rajesh Waka. DOB for old accounts were captured as per passport, driving license, etc. So for such cases, if any segment addition comes or client comes for reactivation, will UCC be approved or not?
So, if the client has already updated the DOB and I hope it matches. I mean,
Okay.
whatever is mentioned on the passport and the PAN card, if it is same, and if client comes for reactivation,
Mhm.
there won't be any issue,
Okay.
and the UCC will be reactivated. No issues with that.
Okay. But it has to match, as you are
But
rightly
yeah,
saying.
I mean, we have clearly stated it has to be as per the PAN card.
Correct.
So suppose, for example, I mean, it happens in rare cases where your DOB is different on passport and PAN card, but
Correct.
I hope so it will be same, and then there won't be any issues while reactivation.
Correct. Again, next one is from him only. Existing clients prior to 2016 name in UCC might be in short and PAN is valid. In such cases, if PAN site or PAN name may not match, what will happen to such cases and what is the solution without going to the client?
Okay, so the member is saying that prior to 2016, if the name is short and if the client is trying to modify that cases as of now, so as per the validations, if you're trying to do any change in your name or DOB, again the validations will run.
Correct.
And the UCC, if the name on the UCC is not matching what is uploaded as per the PAN site or the PAN card, the UCC will become inactive. I mean, the PAN status will be I, which will result ultimately in the UCC for being not permitted to trade. So we urge the member to ensure that you update the client name and the date of birth as per the current record. I mean, as per the PAN card, in order to get the UCC permitted to trade.
Moreover, if there are there are huge number of clients who have been created earlier, right?
Correct.
But if you are not modifying the name or you're not modifying the account, as in the date of birth details or the
Correct.
PAN details, then it doesn't make a difference because we will not validate that. If it's validated earlier,
True.
it is not going to. It's only when you're touching those fields, those specific fields, it will go for validation.
Definitely, and it has to go.
It has to.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Siddheshwar and Shanti. Next one is from Sanjay Avasti, Relegate Broking. So he mentioned that there are some mapping issues of DP UCC. I mean, it is not very clear, but anything that you want to?
Covered earlier,
Okay.
just recently.
Okay, great. Moving to next one, it is probably next few queries are related to API integration. So if you can share the process for live API registrations for members.
Okay, so the process for live API registration is like, firstly, you need to email on uci@nsc.co.in to have the documents for requesting the documents for live and UAT API. So we will be sharing you the document. Then you need to register on the link shared in the document. Once your registration is done, you need to ensure that you email us, you intimate us sharing the screenshot that your registration is done for the UAT and live API both. Once the registration is done and you intimate us, we will be activating you from backend. And I would like to highlight that most of the queries which we get is members are saying that please share us the login credentials for UAT and live. So I would like to highlight that please note we don't share any login credentials. The login credentials are the same which you register or which you upload, which you create while the registration process. We just activate you from the backend.
Okay, and that is true for UAT environment as well, right? As you
Yes.
rightly said, because we have received queries from members asking for UAT login
Right,
credentials
right.
as well. So that is true for both UAT and login
Exactly.
live.
The process is same, only the links are different and the documents are different. So you
Okay.
need to mention while emailing that which document you want
Okay.
or for which registration, which API registration you want.
Okay, and a couple of members have asked if there is requirement of whitelisting the API request. So any such requirement?
Okay, so
is
I
there?
would like to highlight that there is no whitelisting of API required. Our API is freeware. You can test it via Postman.
Okay, great. Next one is from Preeti Gara from JM Financial. She says that UCC API faces issue of being down sometimes. So they have definitely been emailing, but just wanted to check if there are some issues that were there with the UCC API, or there might be some member-specific problem also.
No, there won't be any member-specific problem. I guess she might be highlighting regarding the downtime which we take sometimes
Okay.
on the weekend.
Okay.
So a proper ticker is displayed on the member portal site whenever the API is down.
If you can just mention the space where the member ticker is displaying this,
On
so
the
that
login
it,
screen.
On the
On the-
login screen itself.
Okay.
As soon as you log in the member portal, you'll get to know when the API will, your API and member portal.
and we
will-
also mentioned the downtime period as well.
Yes, the date and the period as well we mentioned.
Okay, great. So Preeti, we would request if you can just keep checking the space. It might be the case where the downtime is there and during which you are trying to access the UCC API and you are facing the issue. Thanks, Siddheshwar. Now, next one is if you can advise how the nomination field is to be updated.
I guess that is covered by Shanti, where they need to update. I mean, if they don't want to pass any data, they need to pass it as 0. The value is to be 0.
Okay.
And if they want to opt in, then 1, and opt out, then 2.
Okay. Again, on the similar lines, if they want to change details such as name, PAN, category, and DOB, that also probably we have tried to cover, right?
Yes, yes, they can change the name, PAN, category, and DOB by placing an unfreeze request. And all the file format are available in the latest circular.
Okay, great. Next one is from Mr. Bipin, who is from Stock Plus Financial Services, and it is a specific scenario-based query. In case of name change of a female client due to marriage or wedding, KRA records are updated with a new name after marriage. Can we modify name on exchange UCC?
I'll take this.
Yes.
So we can definitely, you can modify the name as per the actual name, but we should be mindful that once you modify the name, it has to match with the PAN card
Correct.
or the PAN site. So it is essential that you get your name details modified there,
Okay.
and then you start modifying the exchange data.
Understood. Thank you. Next one is if you can clarify why UCC portal is getting blank while modifying an existing UCC.
Okay, so I would answer this.
Okay.
Since it is an existing UCC, possibility is that these UCCs might be having special characters.
Mhm.
Right now we have validated this. I mean, you cannot enter junk characters while creating the UCC, but since this is an old UCC, you might encounter the blank screen while trying to modify this.
Okay.
So solution for this is please use the bulk upload facility
Okay.
and input all the fields which you want to update in the respective UCC, and your problem will be solved.
But there are fair chances, as you are saying, that it might happen with old UCCs.
Yeah, with the old UCC.
Okay, great. Members, you can try the alternate solution which Siddheshwar has just guided in case similar scenarios is there with you.
And modify the fields which have junk characters.
Correct,
Modify
correct.
the field.
That is very important to take note of. Okay. Next one is from Santosh from JM Financial Services. He has two queries. I'd ask first one. In case of modification UCC, he must have encountered error messages primary or secondary DP. DP2 mandatory if depository 2 details are given. But here the details of depository were blank. Still, the error was received.
So they should introduce this.
Okay, so these might be possible for the retail categories which they are
Okay.
trying to upload.
Okay.
So whenever you're trying to upload a new UCC, the bank details is mandatory, and you need to mention or update the respective bank or the depository details.
Okay.
And as Shanti explained, you need to at least mention one.
Okay.
You don't need to update all the 5 fields, but at least you can mention one details.
Correct.
And while for modification as well, they need to update the bank or the DP details.
Okay. But when you
So
were mentioning
it should not
that,
happen
yes.
now that you've given me my modification specifically. There are 2 fields for depository, so you have to update both the fields.
Okay.
And if you're giving me depository 1
Mhm.
information, and if you're adding secondary as for depository 2, but you're not providing details, then again an error could come.
Correct.
So there are various permutation combinations for such things. Same goes for bank.
The same goes for
Same goes
bank
for
because he also mentioned that he
Yes.
received same error with bank details where second bank details are blank in upload file. Okay, but it must be the same reason due to which this must have happened. Next one is from Prafula Shetty from BD Shah Securities. She says that AP mobile and email registered in his spouse and dependent parent or children account receiving alert after submitting the clarification also. So if we can advise on the possible procedure that he has to undertake.
Okay, we will check the email from Prafula Shetty for BD Shah Securities, and we will guide accordingly.
Okay. And in case you are not emailed, we would urge you to email on uci@nse.co.in as well. Yes, Shanti, you were
Yes,
saying
so
something.
what happens is same for the same email ID or mobile number, multiple PANs are not multiple
Okay.
UCCs are not permitted.
Okay.
Only in case of family details.
Okay.
So in case we receive any such information and when in our checking we find out there are multiple,
Mhm.
we do send out informations to the members to modify the things.
Okay.
Because it can happen unintentionally also. So if whenever members give us relevant documents, relevant proofs,
Mhm.
we do get it
Understood.
from the alert list.
Understood. Next query is from Deepak Kashyap from Dhani Stocks. He says that currently the status update for the unfreeze request on the UCC portal is taking longer time compared to earlier times. So whether is it the case or there must be some other reason?
So it's actually not the case because there have been a lot of modifications and optimizations as well. So
Mhm.
if you see the response time is pretty quick.
Okay, okay. So it must be a specific case that he must have encountered.
See,
It is not a generic thing.
it can happen where it happened specifically. I'll tell you where this PAN Aadhaar seeding had come up specifically
Mhm.
that period.
That
So
particular period.
everybody what they were doing is whichever records we had blocked from trading because of that requirement,
Mhm.
people were just brokers were just uploading the full files
Correct.
in unfreeze request. So that had created a huge.
Definitely, it must be creating a backlog for process as well.
Those are exceptions, but
Exactly.
come what may, all the processes now things are happening smooth.
And we have streamlined our processing time as well
In case there is
significantly.
any specific concern, always we are there.
Sure, sure.
At UCI, you can
Definitely. Now, a couple of queries were there related to the record that they can download. So one member was asking if we can clarify from where they can get the full record of UCC and the timeline required for the same to get the full record.
Siddesh?
Okay, so member can download the full file which is available under member portal under the download option.
Mhm.
So you can place the full file request, and where you can place for all the segments as well, and for all the periods, I mean since inception, or you can specify the segments and the specific period as well.
Okay.
And the tag for same is T+1.
Okay. Any specific timeline that they have to put a request for download to get it processed for
On the
T+1?
T day, they need to ensure that they place the request before 10 o'clock.
Okay, great. Now, in continuation with that, Sanjay Avasthi from Religare Broking is asking if we have the option for selective UCC dump download as well.
Right, exactly. As I explained in the full file, you can mention the specific period and specific segment as well.
Okay, right. And next one is if we can clarify how they can identify multiple UCCs created on a single pan.
Okay, so this option is available to members on the member portal.
Mhm.
Under client status. There is an option generate bulk reports.
Okay.
So there you'll be able to generate your report, which will identify one. I mean, you can mention the pan, and you will get to see all the UCCs which are created on a single pan.
Okay, great. So it will be a pan-based selection that they
It
can
will be a
fetch out.
pan-based selection.
Okay, great. Now, apart from this download, there were a couple of queries, last couple of queries probably. So one member is asking if we can clarify the reason for invalid PAN while placing an order.
Okay, so we have come across this issue several times because the UCC gets permitted to trade before 10 o'clock, but still member says that when the client is trying to place the order the next day,
Mhm.
they face the issue of invalid PAN.
Mhm.
So there are 2-3 scenarios because of which this might happen. First is the member need to ensure that in the terminal, exchange terminal which they have for the trading, they need to ensure that the PAN which is there, the same PAN has to be updated in the UCI.
Okay.
First is that. The second is they need to ensure the PAN has to be in uppercase in their terminal,
Okay.
because anyways in our system it accepts an uppercase only.
Correct.
If still this issue, I mean all the validations are correct, the member needs to get in touch with the MSMT.
Okay, great. Now, probably the last query is a two-part query and related to the opt facility for UPI. One member is asking if we can clarify the opt-out process of UPI, and second part is if we can clarify if opt for UPI facility is applicable for all the categories. So probably Shanti or Siddesh, if you want to take
Siddesh,
this
would you like
last
to
query.
answer?
Okay. So I would like to answer the first question that opt-out, I mean the UPI facility is applicable only for individual and HOF category as
Okay.
of now.
Okay.
That too only for cash segment,
Okay.
the CM segment. And the second question is, what is the opt-out process for UPI? So as soon as the member clicks opt-in facility of UPI for a client, and suppose the client wants to opt out now.
Mhm.
So the first step is the member needs to mark it as D.
Okay.
That is deregister. Then he needs to wait to get the UPI status updated.
Okay.
There is a field on the member portal, CC status, which will show them 3 status.
Okay.
That is I, invalid, P as in pending, and V as in verified.
Okay.
So you need to ensure that unless and until the CC status shows as V, you don't need to mark it as N.
Okay.
Once you get to see that the CC status is V, that is verified, then you need to mark it as opt out, that is N.
Understood.
Not required. So that
Understood.
is the process.
Great. So, members, these were the queries that we received from some of you participants. With this, I guess we are out of the queries, but we again urge, in case you still have any other queries or issues, you can always write to uci@nse.co.in and the team will be very happy, very glad to help you out. Now, before wrapping this session out, if Shanti or Siddesh, you want to make any summarizing comments for this session that we have delivered today?
So I would like to say that see, this PAN verification facility is new.
Mhm.
Okay, we have not seen many cases going southward,
Mhm.
but still I would urge members to be mindful what they are entering in the client name field.
Correct.
If they want to enter any additional information, we have provided additional field
Okay.
wherein you can give us the information, so that that is also stored and it will be easy for you as ease of business. We've given you that option. So be mindful whatever is entered for verification is valid.
Okay.
And rest happy trading.
Thanks.
You want to
So,
add something?
No, nothing.
Okay, so members, I again thank Shanti and Siddeshwar for answering all the queries. Definitely, there were so many generic queries as well as scenario-based questions as well. We are still committed to deliver more such sessions. If more such queries or new mechanisms or new systems will come in place, we'll keep doing such sessions. Till that time, have a great week coming ahead and have a happy weekend as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.